Are you going to
welcome.
dance? Okay, so we're
Yes,
doing a
I
welcome
am.
dance.
It's a dancing kind of day.
What you mean,
To the Plus Sides
AT alien is dancing? Let's dance.
podcast.
Let's dance. Who's dancing with me?
Look at you. Look at you, my friends. That's the AT
AT alien is
alien.
dancing
Oh,
with
my
me.
glasses. I haven't quite figured out the whole glasses with the mic, like and with the headset and all this. I look like a cocker spaniel. I can't help it. I think it's because I got the whole money pieces in the front.
Hold on that.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like
Okay.
kind of crazy.
I
Do I look
actually have
stupid?
fixed my hair today. Oh Lord. Okay.
Listen, these are just the facts of life. I can't help it. Like, I've just got a lot of front hair. It's fine.
I loved
Everything's
that
fine.
show as a kid. We're
Did
all
you?
usually Gen X. It's called, yeah, Facts of Life.
Yeah. All right. We're,
Absolutely.
we're getting off. We're getting off.
We
We're
are
going on
getting
a
off
tangent.
topic.
Going
Right.
on a
Come on.
tangent, Cat. Going to France.
Bring it
Okay.
home. Take it home.
All right. All right. Here we are. So if you're new here, this is called the Plus Sides Podcast, which you know because reasons. But we're going to be talking
Funny.
today about maintaining weight loss on GLP-1 medications. So if you don't know anything about our podcast, we were born out of a TikTok community that takes GLP-1 medications for various reasons, for obesity, insulin resistance, PCOS, type 2 diabetes. And we have taken them to treat our health, which has then treated weight and caused us to lose weight. And we're all in just a really happy, good place. And we want to talk about it a lot. So we decided to make a podcast so that we could do that. My name's Kim. And I have, as of right now, 66 pounds. I kind of bounce
Go
back and forth.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Woo!
Go ahead. And I got 66 pounds and I'm still going strong, but I'm real happy, feeling real good. My numbers are really good. My A1C is at 4.9. It is a 4.9. Yes. Like what? Yeah. So I'm doing good. But anyway, yeah, so that's what we're here and we're talking about. We got kind of tired of the media taking our stories and testimonials and making them less than by snipping them and cutting them. So we really wanted to have a place where we could have some more long form content. And that is what this is. So welcome, welcome. Now, Kat, tell me about
Yes,
you.
ma'am. I'm Kat. Oh gosh, I haven't started with my silliness. That's okay. This is our AT alien,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Our mascot.
but he is princed out because that's how I live my life.
Yep. You do. Kat showing her Prince shirt.
You
You
know,
really do
I
always have
realize
little
how much print stuff I've accumulated, but you know what? Since taking Mounjaro, a lot of things don't
Mounjaro.
fit. But Kim, you're not
Yeah.
going to get any of my Prince tees. They're all too big for me now, but
Uh-oh.
that's okay.
Yeah. I haven't even tried them on yet. They're all in the car because John got home and so Kat gave me a whole bunch of her clothes when we met, and I haven't even tried them on yet. But I think some of them will fit. We'll see how it goes. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I
think,
mean?
yeah,
Wish me well.
yeah, and the sparkly stuff I gave her, I was a little bit sad because I love sparkles,
Oh,
but you know what?
well, you can buy new sparkles in smaller
Smaller
sizes.
sparkles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that should be
Yeah.
like a
So
quote.
yeah,
New sparkly things
Sparkles
in
and
smaller
smaller
sizes. It's
new
okay.
sizes.
sparkly things and
Yeah.
purple stuff. Is that what?
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yes, it's
In
great.
smaller
But yes,
sizes.
exactly.
Yes.
Smaller sizes and sparkles.
Yes.
Boom.
So tell
Okay.
us about you. Why are you here? What you doing? How you going? What's happening?
So Mounjaro is, this is fantastic. I love fitness, and I'm here to say that it's not. Everyone says it's an easy drug to take. Hey, just sit on your tuchus. No, ma'am. No,
Straight
I've
lies.
always
Yeah.
worked out. In fact, you know what? It was a little teeny weeny segue was going to come back home. So we found out today Shalene Johnson quoted our podcast when we interviewed Rosie O'Donnell. I
Fancy.
am so excited. I kind of fangirled out because I did Shalene Johnson's Turbo Fire and oh my gosh, her Turbo Jam. I did all of her beach body programs.
Ooh.
So I did white knuckle before I got married. I white knuckled 40 pounds off of me, and it
Before I
was
got
hard.
married.
Before I got married.
Hard. It was so hard. I white knuckled, and
Mm,
you know what? And working out twice a day because and her the way she covered it, it was amazing because it's true. Like
yeah.
she said some people are never felt full. I never felt full. And sometimes when I would combat that because I was trying to still look great in my wedding dress was I would work out twice a day.
Mm,
And that was kind of like binge disorder. Like it's kind of purging when you're working out multiple times because you're just trying to get that deadline. But I'm saying there are a few pictures where I look nice and ripped right here in the
yeah.
chest. But any case, that's my story right now. So I've always loved fitness, and I love Shalene Johnson, and I was just so excited today to find out that she
Yeah.
put us in, and it's just to show that like I'm active. I've always been active.
Yeah.
I actually took a rest day today because I had been going really hard at the cycle bar all week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Janine knows.
Mhm.
Yes.
So when they do like party, like not like fun weekend promotions, I can't help it. It's like a party when you go
Yeah.
work out. So, but
Yeah.
yesterday
I
I
bet that
started
is
to feel
fun.
really tired, and I was like, I'm gonna take a day.
Yeah.
But so to say, like working out, it's not an easy. It's Mounjaro is not an easy fix. You still have to put in the work. And
Yeah.
I always say, honor your body, honor your muscle, put muscle on your body so you can use your body when you're 85, 105, and you still got that muscle.
Yeah, that's some Cat's
Ooh,
Corner
look
stuff
at
right there. We're gonna have
that.
that on the live on Friday. I
Use
like
that
that.
muscle, like
Work
Diana
that. I
Ross.
want to know
I
more.
want muscle.
Ooh.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, I was
One of
gonna say,
my
like,
favorite
I've
songs.
lost like 64 pounds. I've kind of stalled a little bit, but I'm still
Yeah.
shrinking. So,
Yeah.
I've been very inconsistent with weighing myself lately because clothes start falling off on me, and I have
Yeah, it's weird,
stayed.
But
right?
you're
I've
losing
only toggled
inches.
between 2 pounds.
Yeah.
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 But
So
you're
I will
losing
take the
inches.
inches. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Inches are
Inches all
good.
day.
yeah,
All day.
All day. Yep. I like
that
it. I dig
fitness,
the
that
inches.
muscle
Because
burns
I
muscle.
do look
Muscle
at
burns fat.
my size that I am now,
Hmm.
and I think about the
Mhm.
weight that I am now, and I'm like, that does not track. Like, but it's because I've just sort of, I don't know, reformed. I don't know. And it's like, it's just different. And now I can wear smaller things, but I'm in a
Yeah.
much different body. And not just the size wise, but just my age and things kind of hang different. You know what I mean?
But it's
Yeah.
so
So
cool to see what muscle does to you. Like it
it
just,
is
you
cool.
can do so
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Anyways, hey, Janine.
Hey, hey.
We're so glad to have you.
Oh, it's
We're
so good to
glad
be
you're
here.
here.
It's so good to be here.
So tell us about
Tell
you,
you.
people that don't know you. Who
Ah,
are you? What you doing
oh,
here? What's it up? How's it going?
well,
What's
yeah.
happening?
Well, I am the Janine on
Yeah, you are.
TikTok and YouTube and Instagram because the world can only take one of me.
Yeah.
And today, I had a busy weekend with these ladies, and
You
I'm
really
on
did.
Yeah.
fumes right now. But I'm so glad to be here. I struggled with obesity later in life due to being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and an autoimmune disease, Sjogren's syndrome. And hormones were just all out of whack. And thank goodness for the GLP-1 Mounjaro community on TikTok. I've met so many people. It's so supportive. And that's how I met these two. And
Yeah.
I am 38, 39-ish pounds down since January. You know, type 2s lose a little slower, but that's okay because I take whatever I can get. But more importantly, my A1C went from a 6.9 to now my A1C is a 5.6. So the A1C is being a little stubborn, but that's okay. We're going to
Yeah.
get her
Gotta get
really
her
under
down. Get her down.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done.
Look, we are going to get her down.
That's what
And
that 10 is for. We're on the 10 now.
yes. And so my life this week will be trying to hunt down 10 milligrams of Mounjaro because the little mom and pop pharmacy said that they have all the other doses but that one.
Great news.
But that's okay. You know what, we have learned that we can, just flow with it and we can deal with
Yep.
anything, and
Roll with it.
that's
Telling you, I'm a
and
pro dialer these days. You know how I learned to call
pro.
our guest today? Our guest today did a video when everything was going with a shortage with Mounjaro months ago. And she was like, let me show you how you do this. So she gets on the phone and she calls a pharmacy like right there. And she says,
Yeah.
as nice as she can be, and says, ma'am, can you tell me if you have this medication in stock at this dose? And the woman was like, no, we don't. She's like, all right, great. Thank you. Think it'll be in tomorrow or something like that. And she was like, have a good day. That's how I do it. And I always get it done. I do
That's
it
it.
just like she did. And
Super
That's
nice.
it.
speaking of the devil, let's invite her
Speaking of
in.
the
What'd you
devil,
think? Yeah.
maybe.
Hold on one
I don't
second.
know.
Maybe. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Hey, Kim.
Kim, there she is.
There
It
she
was gonna make
is.
me cry. I didn't realize that you were paying attention to.
Hell yeah, it
You be
was.
paying attention.
Yes.
We pay
Like I
attention
said,
to
I know, like,
everything.
your Elmo
do.
video was hilarious, but yeah, we got to
Look,
Oh my God.
everything.
You got some funny videos, yeah.
Well,
because you gotta laugh.
I am. I'm shocked. Like,
Yeah, I always watch the videos for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
And we
thank
watch
Yep,
the
it was a good one.
dancing videos too.
Telling you, you call and you're nice to them. Everybody fusses at them. Everybody fusses at these pharmacy techs. You know what I mean? They're just doing their job, and
Just
there's
doing their job.
shortages of everything everywhere. So be nice to them. Just ask them the question, get in and out, and be kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's it.
Crack a little
exactly.
It's
joke.
the best way. I do it every time, and I always get it done. Thanks, Kim.
I want to thank you, first of all, for having me as a guest on your podcast.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah, we're
Oh
glad
my
to have
God.
you.
And I guess for a brief introduction of myself, my name's Kim.
Yes.
I started my Mounjaro journey September 27th of last year. I was prescribed Mounjaro for two reasons. Number one, my blood sugars were high. And number two, my weight kept continuing to go up and not down. No matter what I did, I exercised 7 days a week, keto, low carb, phentermine, detox tea,
Girl.
not eating after 8 o'clock, 1,200
Yes, ma'am.
calories a day.
Torture.
Everything that could be done, I've tried.
Yeah.
So my physician was like, there's a new medication, Mounjaro, would you like to try it? And I was like, okay. In my mind, I've done everything at this point.
Yeah.
It hurt, but I didn't believe that it would actually work.
For sure.
So I took my first injection September 27th. I really didn't focus on the scale because I didn't believe it was working for me. So 2 weeks into my journey, my coworker was like, let's step on the scale. I was like, girl, it didn't move. My scrubs are still the same. It didn't move. And I went from 215 to 190. I was like,
oh my gosh.
We're working with something. Okay.
Ooh,
but I
cooking
never
with grease.
was able to get under 190 pounds. So to give a brief background to that.
All the background. Give me the background. This is unfiltered, uncut. You tell me.
Yes. So I grew up in the South, and my grandmother and my mom raised me. So I grew up in the era of you cannot leave the table until you finish your food. Every bit of it. And then on top of that, I grew up where food was everything. Sad, we're going to eat. Mad, we're going to eat. Happy, we're going to eat. So I had a relationship with food. Like my family has a joke with me. Like if they'll tell you, if you want to see Kim get down, take her to a buffet. I will shut it down.
So I get down.
So I was obese as a child. I wore a girdle ever since I was in the 4th grade because my thighs would rub together. And it wasn't my grandmother being cruel. I love my grandmother. I love my mom, but they raised me the best that they could with food. So high school, I lost a little bit of weight being athletic, but I still was that obese kid. I joined the military, and the overweight program in the Army is called the Fat Girl program.
Well, yeah, I've heard that. They call it the fat boy or the fat girl. No, I've heard it. Yeah,
PHAT.
Because
So,
oh my God,
my brothers and they've told me.
I mean, that's what they call the overweight program. So naturally, in basic training, I was in the Fat Girl program. So so I ate baked chicken, water. Like they put me on a maybe 800 caloric diet. I couldn't eat rice, any carbs. So little side joke, I would take saltine crackers and eat them in the barracks because I was hungry.
Yeah.
So yes, that's the only time I really got down to 165, but I was still overweight by Army standards.
Yeah, no, they're terrible. Yeah. So
yes.
I come from a military family. It's like, I mean, yeah.
So throughout my military career,
I agree.
I always had to work out twice a day. regular
gosh.
PT and afterwards, because your promotion, PT, physical training, is a part of your promotion when you go to the promotion board. After I had my son, I had my 2 daughters, no problem. BJ was 10 pounds, 9 ounces. And my body said, whoa, things are going to stop. So the only thing that gave me saving grace was my age in the Army, honestly. So so it just was a struggle all my life with weight, even being in the military. So fast forward to today. Yes, fast forward to today. Society tells you have to be a certain way, certain weight, certain curves. So when I started this journey, I was like, okay, I cried because I was like, this is it. This is it for me. And I knew it was it for me. So once I started losing weight, then I was like, okay, now I see that this medication is working. Let me put in the work with the medication. So I started walking 45 minutes a day and adding weights. It took me 4.5 months to reach goal, which I lost 65 pounds.
That's impressive.
Whoa.
65
pounds. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I just ate 6 smaller meals a day that I could eat on Mounjaro. So in the mornings, I would get an Herbalife shake, and I'm not saying diet culture, but it's a place that sells meal replacement shakes. That's the only thing I could have tolerated at the time. Then for a mid-morning breakfast snack, I had a scoop of peanut butter and a Premier shake. For lunch, I would have a protein, as much as I could eat, and a vegetable. And then for a mid-lunch snack, scoop of peanut butter and a protein shake. Then for dinner, I had a little bit of carbs. So once I reached maintenance, I went to my physician. There is no medical data out there for maintenance. So everybody is just winging it. So she was like, well, we could put you on 7.5 and you inject every 14, 21 days. That was so hard for me because I'm so used to injecting every week. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and see how this is going to work. And at this time, I was looking for other options because I didn't know at that point in time where my journey was going to go with Mounjaro. I just knew that I did not want to give up on this medication. My A1C dropped from a 6.8 to a 5.7. So I was like, okay, it's helping my A1C. So that's where the type 2 diagnosis came in because my blood sugars were high. So now today, I just had my labs done last week. I am at a 5.2 ever, first in my life. And I'm still maintaining. My weight ranges between 155, 157. I personally inject every 14 days. I did miss an injection. And I think I did a video on that. And when I tell you the food noise was real, I ate my dinner. Wow. This is real transparent. I want to cry. It was embarrassing, but I wanted to.
You can tell us. I mean, we all get it. Yeah.
I ate my dinner, which was, I had steak, potatoes, and asparagus. I'll never forget this. 30 minutes later, I had 2 cheeseburgers, French fries, 20-piece nuggets, and a milkshake.
Oh, did you freak out?
In an hour.
I would have freaked out, Kim.
I did. I was so hungry, but I was so embarrassed because
that's how real it is. Yeah.
I was just embarrassed that,
we get you.
I didn't want to go back to that person just eating. So I spoke to Janine. So I forgot. I'd called Janine. Did you do your injection? I was like, no, I didn't do my injection. Don't you think you need to do your injection? That would be, I think so. So I did my injection. So now I write it down so I won't forget. And I just want to encourage people to not look at or focus on that scale because it's your worst enemy. For
Yes.
me, I had to look at my relationship with food. Food has been
Yeah.
that person that never left me. Food has been there like a husband, my comforter.
Yeah.
Yes, my security blanket. So if I could just help someone with that. And
Yeah.
it's okay to say, okay, I fell off the bandwagon. Just don't stay
Yes.
there. Get back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
And
so
I think it makes sense too. Like, and I, I think it's good that you're saying it and being vulnerable, and definitely sounds like you're giving yourself some grace, which is good because others will do that too. But I think it makes sense. I mean, I do think there's this fear, right? Is if we get to that stage, right? And there's like maintenance is not the end, right? Like that's not the end of this journey. I wish it was, but it's not. And that's why we have to continue to support people in our community no matter where they are in their
Yes.
journey, because technically it's never over because we all have a chronic disease. I mean,
Yes.
unfortunately you have two, so it's even harder. So, but it makes sense though. You stop taking your medicine at the level that you need and it doesn't work. And so everything starts to go in overdrive and your body thinks it's starving. And so you have to eat a lot. So that's that biological thing within your body, that dysfunction we talk about all the time on the show. And if you're not treating it, then it comes back. So it's not like it was anything that was your fault. So I think it's good that you're aware of that. And I hope you like the burgers a little bit.
Yeah.
I
I
did.
mean,
I was
sometimes,
like,
yeah,
I hope there was a little bit of a
it's just
yeah,
for me. It was
I get it.
I couldn't get satisfied. I wasn't satisfied.
Yes.
That's where we used to
Totally.
be.
That's
Mhm.
how we used to be.
I
Yeah.
totally get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so I actually like I said, that was so embarrassed because I was on a live when that happened. Literally, I was
no.
calling me. I was door dashing McDonald's on the live. Like, okay, let me get this. Let me put this in the
Not like a
bag.
good DoorDash McDonald's.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's made it so easy for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the binge that when it's isolating. So you isolate
Yeah.
and then you do. Yeah, it's a perfect storm.
It really
Yeah,
is.
we get
And
it.
then like,
We've been
yeah,
there.
and I think I'm like you too, Kim, in that I was raised in the South. So I'm from Atlanta, like born and raised. And my grandmama, she would make like homemade chicken and dumplings, like cutting the biscuits fresh. Like, I mean,
Yes.
all the things. I mean, butter mashed potatoes with buttermilk. I mean, I can't even tell you. That's what we were like. And we all sat around and celebrated. And then when people would pass, we all sat around and ate.
Yes.
And then, it was just like everything. And my family sitting around food. And then if you didn't eat, no matter what size you were, everybody was trying to feed you all the time.
Right.
And then they turn around a little bit and be like, she's getting kind of big. But why are you trying to feed me? Like, that's just sort
Right.
of what the like culture, I feel like, is sort of like, and it's hard because you do have this relationship with food. And I think, and when you already struggle with it, it's such a good point about the healing piece. Because I did not think it was possible. I did not think it was possible. And so like when I hear your story, like it resonates with me so much because it's like I had to do different things. Like I remember that moment when like the emotional connection to food and like my brain was like severed, like a cord. And it was just like, what just happened? Right. Like, and I didn't know what to do with myself, Kim. Like I didn't. And then I had to work through that. Right. Work through that emotional relationship and like detangling it. And I'm still doing it. Like it could take years. I don't know, but it's hard, So, but I for sure have moments where I feel like that could happen to me too. And I bet a lot of our listeners do too. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
You are absolutely welcome. And that's what I just want people to, on their journey. I had to, for me, learn to say, I've had enough. It's okay. That's why they make to-go boxes.
Yeah.
And then I did not want to pass that along to my children, which my son kind of picked up my bad habit. So we're working on that with him. But it's okay to push the plate away and to say, okay, especially now. On the flip side, losing so much weight, you have people, oh my gosh, you just look so sickly, da 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 da. But being overweight does not equate with being healthy.
No.
And I have to tell my grandmother that. I was like, Mama, I'm not healthy. I was like, I'm not type 2. I have this issue because my kids call her Big Granny. Go figure. So, but I had to learn it's okay. I had to learn that it's okay. If I only to eat when my body really needs it instead of when
Yeah.
I want it.
So true. Yeah, the whole like living to eat and not eating to live, like that's a big thing to unlearn. And I feel like I legitimately, did you guys ever, I mean, like, Kat, did you ever think it would be possible to be like this?
I did
Like
not.
to be
I thought it was
able,
gonna be permanent. I just
yeah,
thought I was gonna have
Wow.
white knuckle
I thought
through
it was my fault.
life.
I thought it was all my
Yeah.
fault. But I actually have a lot of control once things are like working right. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I always want people to know. Like I've had, and before we started, we were talking about like we're very blessed. We have a lovely sponsor, but we have some sponsors that I feel like have come and they're very diet culture, and it doesn't sound like they're going to work on that piece, right? And I feel like we have a responsibility to consider that, right? We don't want people that have been in like traumatic times with diet culture and stuff to have to go through that again. And we've said it's okay because they've advertised on our show, So I think those are just like, those are things that are still out there, and we have to think about it, but yeah, I mean, this was so good. Thank you. I want to make sure you have plenty of room. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
No,
Anything else about your story?
just don't quit. Don't quit.
Yeah, don't quit.
Give up. Don't give
Yeah.
up. It's worth it.
Yeah. Well, we would love for you to stay on with us. We do have Megan Wolf, who is a dietitian and is a lover of all things. That's what she says. It's great. Of all things bariatric and weight loss and
Yes.
GLP-1 medications.
Yes.
And she's going to be on to talk with us. And if you'd like to hang with us, that'd be
Yes.
great, because we can sort of talk about like what your diet looks like now and stuff like that.
Right.
Is that cool? You stay with
Yes.
us?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Yay.
Hey, Megan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're a lover.
Oh
Of
my
all
gosh,
things.
I can't. Literally, I'm
Lover.
laughing because I can't tell you how many women are like, OMG, like it's just they're like I wait for you to say that because it's like
I do.
so over the top.
I love it so much.
I
I was
love
like,
it.
But
yep,
it's true.
like her.
Like it literally,
Yeah.
it's true. Like it's not hyperbole. Like I really do like love all things bariatric medicine.
Yeah.
So happy to be
That's
here.
awesome. Great. So we're so happy to have you here too.
Thank you.
I have all the questions in the land for you. And
And
obviously
I hope
Kim's
I have all the
here.
answers.
I hope so. And like Kim's here and she's on she's on her journey. She's in the mainstays and she was just talking about. So we definitely want to like keep that in mind as we're answering questions, because her experience is incredibly valid, and many people have felt that way. So we're going to go through and ask you, but people may not know you and know that you're a lover of these medicines.
Lover,
So
yes.
tell us what you do, and why, and what, why you love them.
Right.
Start there.
I mean, first of all, like who doesn't love them, right? Like let's
Right.
put that out there.
Look at Kim's water bottle.
I know. Look at that.
If Kim has a Mounjaro water bottle, anybody that's listening audience, Kim has a Mounjaro water bottle. It's a giant water bottle. It looks like the Mounjaro pen. It's awesome.
It's amazing.
So great.
I'm gonna hook you guys up. I promise. I'm gonna hook you guys up.
All right.
We're
getting
getting
I like
one.
it. If
We're
we get a
getting one.
coupon code, audience, we will put it in the show notes. So if we get it, you can go and look on YouTube. It's adorable. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry about that, Megan. We get
No, you're good. No, honestly, there are few things I love more than like a big water bottle. So like we all have to talk about the water bottle.
Okay.
My name is Megan Wolf. I've been a registered dietitian for about 10 years. I've always worked in the bariatric space, and I genuinely, I mean, I know we were laughing about my line about being a lover of all things bariatric medicine, but it's true because, bariatric surgery, bariatric medicine, whether that's, GLP-1 medication, whatever it is, along with diet and lifestyle changes it is what, I mean, it's the best thing we've ever had in this, in this space, and it changes people's lives in such a profound way. And I believe so strongly in the combination of therapeutics, as I like to call it. So whether you decide to have surgery, whether you decide to take medication, whether you decide to do both, whether you decide to do none of it, I mean, like, you do you, but nutrition plays such an important role in long-term success.
Definitely.
And
so true.
and I talk about this a lot, and I believe this so profoundly. My heart goes out to people who do not have any sort of support system around this journey, because if you don't know what to do, it's an uphill battle, and it doesn't need to be. You know, there are people who are able to help, and resources and communities like yours. I mean, there is like no shortage of support out there for people. So, you know, this podcast is amazing. The community you all have created on, you know, all the apps. I mean, it's all so good for people. So there is no better time to be in this space than right now. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I feel like science has really caught up. And, you know, I think it's just a matter of the accessibility and affordability, right? Which is,
absolutely,
you know, that's the next phase. And that's what we're trying to do here too, right? Like, we're trying to help people, and we're trying to get loud so they know they're not alone. It's not their fault. They can go see their doctor. It's not the end. Whatever end they decided it was, like, it doesn't have to be that, you know, it really doesn't. But now we got to get them more affordable and accessible. But that's the next thing. That's phase 2. Maybe phase 8. I don't know. I'm working on
it. Like phase, you know, like 942. But
right.
It's also being here, talking about it, working to break the stigma. It's like there is such an obesity bias. There's so much out there that is just, it's so unfair. And I'm moved, because I always say this to people. It's like, no one would be like, don't get a hip replacement. Like, it's your fault you have a bad hip. That's your fault. Just like figure out, you know, what to do. That's your fault. No one would say that. It's like utilizing any sort of medical intervention. No one should be shamed for that. And it's why I just feel so strongly that people need to understand, you know, what options they have available to them. You know, my job as a dietitian, I always say, is to tell you what your options are. It's not my job to convince you to take medication, convince you to have surgery, convince you to eat a certain thing. Like, my job is to educate you. It's up to you to make the choice. But if you don't know what options are available to you, how can you make the best choice for yourself? So we have to talk about this more.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the nutrition thing is really a big deal, especially in the beginning. Like, I feel like I didn't know what to eat, you know? I was just like, to start, because I was so overwhelmed, I was like, I'm just gonna eat less. You know what I mean? Like, that was it. That was like phase 1. Like,
I was so diet cultured. That was like at the other end. I was like, I need to follow Weight Watchers. I need to do all these points when I'm on it. But you're right. It's either
like,
one
you kind of go
of the spectrum or the other. You're totally right.
Well, so I know you mentioned that you work with like bariatric patients too with nutrition, right?
I do.
Well, how is like a diet for someone that's had bariatric surgery? How's that different than like someone who's taking a GLP-1, for example?
So I would say, and this is somewhat anecdotal, I will say.
Okay.
I find that people have more significant food aversions on a medication than they do after bariatric surgery. So
interesting.
So, you know, there could be things where, like, I'm thinking of this one client that I have who honestly, it was like the thought of this one food was like too much for her. She was like, I can't even think about it. It was really too much. So with bariatric surgery, I mean, there are many different forms of bariatric surgery, but most of them work through reducing the portion of food that you can eat, but they work very similarly. You know, medication is not so far removed from, you know, the mechanism of action. It's not the same. There's, you know, there's not the malabsorption that might be present in some of the surgeries, but, you know, a lot of the principles are actually quite similar. And I always say that good healthy eating, like whether you're on a medication, whether you had surgery, whether you're a type 2 diabetic who's trying to control her blood sugar through diet and lifestyle modification, like a lot of those things look similar, because good healthy eating, good nourishment, good balanced meals are going to help you. You know, obviously there are things that we can edit and change and tweak and, you know, help you to get to certain places, but a good diet can serve you, you know, through many different phases of this journey.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how is it different? Like, I mean, so, you know, and we'll kind of go into it a little bit more, but like it looks different when someone gets to like a goal weight when they're on bariatric surgery and a goal weight like where Kim is on GLP-1s, right? Like the food
Sure.
that you eat, right? Yeah. So is it
Yes.
like less
And
protein and things like that?
I mean, I would say protein is always sort of like the most important.
Yeah.
Now, also, goal weights are going to change for people. Goal weights are different for people. The time that it took you to achieve your goal weight, your goal might, you know, maybe you had an initial goal weight and then, you know, you decided that it would, you know, it would be different. But typically, and you know, obviously you should talk to your doctor and your dietitian about this, but thinking about it in terms of like, how can we live like this long term, right? To say, okay, well, I have to maintain my weight eating, you know, steamed chicken and steamed spinach, and that's it. That's a hard place to be. So how can we be reasonable about this? How can we add more to your plate? What can we do to make sure that you can actually maintain this weight? What does your lifestyle look like? So I actually, and you know, what Kim was saying is very true. There's limited data on maintenance and sort of like where the clinical recommendations are, but I always like to think about it in terms of like, if this is if you're at a good weight, A1C, like whatever your marker is, if you're here and you're happy, what can we do to make sure that it's sustainable for you? And maybe that means more fat, maybe that means more fiber rich foods, maybe that means different proteins, maybe that means, you know, tweaking a snack here and there, but it has to be sustainable.
Yeah.
That's sustainable. The name of the game.
That is the key word. And that's what my doctor said to me. She said, you can reach a goal weight, but will that weight be sustainable? Will you have a good quality of life when you reach that goal weight? But we, you know, in the GLP-1 community, and I think all of us can attest that when we do, you know, lives on TikTok, one of the most asked questions is, why is it so important to eat protein during a weight loss journey?
So I will say protein, I like to say protein is queen, not protein is king. Cause like, I mean, protein is queen. Protein is queen.
I like it.
I mean, I could quote a Taylor Swift lyric, but I don't know like what the rating is on here. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna do it, but I think you can all kind of pick up what I'm putting down.
I'm a music nerd. I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So protein really is the most important, whether you're trying to lose weight and especially if you're trying to maintain your weight, because protein is the most satiating nutrient, meaning you're going to feel the fullest from eating protein. But one of the most critical things about a weight loss journey, and again, about a maintenance journey, is making sure that you're maintaining and preserving the lean muscle mass that you have on your body. If you do not eat enough protein, you know, you're inadvertently going to cannibalize that muscle. And that is directly at odds with your desire to maintain your weight. Because when you consider the metabolic adaptation that happens is very tricky for people, because if you have suppressed your metabolism to the point where it's like, okay, Kim met her goal weight, but now she has to eat 500 calories a day to maintain it, Well, then we're back to the sustainability issue. So protein. You should always eat your protein first. I say the same thing to my bariatric patients as I do to my GLP-1 patients, because if you have that early satiety, right? We know that that's a mechanism of action of the medication. If you have early satiety and you just physically can't eat, you have to prioritize the right foods. So you're going to feel fuller, you're going to fuel your metabolism, and you're going to help, I guess it's all together. You're going to help your lean muscle mass. That is like the most, people talk about like hacks and biohacks and this and that. Like, eat protein and do strength training. That's going to help you maintain your weight.
Yeah.
And it's there's such a focus on diet, and I understand why. And I mean, I have a master's degree in clinical nutrition. Like, I literally talk about food all day long. But and I love it. But but we can't forget this other piece of the puzzle. And for so many women, bone health is important. Frame health is important. We have to worry about these things. This is not just like, okay, I'll lose the weight and then what? Right? So focusing on the protein so that you're full, because no one wants to say like, oh yeah, I've been hungry, for 6 months and stopping, my weight loss phase or whatever, however you want to phrase it. But I do just also want to mention just something that someone was saying earlier. I always call this like bariatric surgery or, bariatric medicine. I don't love talking about it in terms of weight loss, because that's only a part of the journey. If you say I had weight loss surgery or I'm taking a weight loss medication, I understand why people say that, and they're not wrong. This is just, as I said, I talk about this all day long, so I have lots of time to think about it. But we have to appreciate that the maintenance phase is amongst the most important part.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You didn't do this, Kim. You didn't do this to lose the weight to gain it back. So how do we support you around maintaining the weight that you have achieved?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Wow. Look, wow. But when you think about it, that really is the most important part. And you said something, Megan, that was confirmation. My doctor said during one of my visits, she said, make sure that you eat your protein first. She didn't tell me why, but she said, make sure you eat your protein first. And I'm like, okay. And I just always, eat my protein first. I like do my best. I mean, sometimes I may eat like the mashed potato first, maybe a couple bites. I love me some mashed potato.
Right. I mean, you know what? Now. Not to just divert, but you could take that Devotion buttery blend protein powder and sprinkle it on your potatoes. I'll talk about that. I'll tell you. Devotion is so great.
So good.
Look, I see what you did there, Kat. I see what
I was always working on the protein
too. Yes, but no, thank you for explaining that. And I guess our next question is, how can someone calculate the correct amount of protein to like intake daily for healthy and sustainable weight loss? I get that question all the time. How much protein do I need to have every day?
Good question.
So this, we have tons of calculations in the nutrition world for how to find this number. I think a good kind of range, just without knowing anything about anyone, is between 60 to 90 grams. That tends to be like 60 to 80, 60 to 90, a range that people hear a lot. But if you want to kind of go a step further and find out for yourself, one frequently used calculation is to take your body weight in kilograms. So you take your body weight in pounds and divide it by 2.2. That's how you convert pounds to kilograms. And then you multiply that anywhere from 1 to 2. So 150-pound woman, so you take 150 and you divide it by 2.2 is 68. So, that's kind of like right in that lower range. And if you multiply that by 2, your range would be from 68 to 136. most people are not going to be able to eat 136 grams of protein, right? Like
I can
that's
probably
gonna
swing
be
90.
I can do 90.
Yeah.
I like to tell people 20 to 30 grams per meal is a good barometer for kind of like a goal, because remember, you're not just eating, hopefully not one meal a day. You're not just eating fiber, or you're not just eating protein, or you're not just eating fat. It's like we have to explain to people, like, what does that actually mean? Yeah, I can tell you to eat 90 grams of protein, but if I don't help you to understand, like, what's that going to look like, then it's sort of just like in the ether, just like, this suggestion, which is why I think when I always try with my clients to explain to them, like, this is why I think this is going to work for you. This is why I think this suggestion is really better for you. I had a new client who just started, and we were kind of talking about a couple things, and I was like, I don't think this situation that, she was explaining, I was like, I don't think that's really going to work for you. She's a mom, she works, she has 2 kids, she's running here, she's running there, like that lifestyle, right? You have to understand what your own lifestyle is, but it's helpful when someone explains to you the reason behind something, right? Just so that you can really empower yourself too, to understand, like, yes, that's amazing that you're eating the protein first. I'm eating the protein first so I stay full, so I can, preserve the lean muscle mass that I have, so I can work to build more muscle mass, so I can, when you have limited amount of space, you have to prioritize the, certain foods first.
Yeah, that makes sense. When this has been quite the journey. Like, I've got still a lot of weight to lose, but I remember I had my first meeting with the dietitian, and I was terrified it was going to be someone that was not a lover of these medications. And I was very defensive. Like, and I'd never met with a nutritionist before because of, diet culture and all the things, right? And all the blame and all the land. And I went into it, and I was telling her, hey, listen, I'm actually really struggling with food aversion, and not just like a particular meal, like all food. And I really want to eat, and I really need to eat. And I'm really, really struggling. How do I do this? And she was like, well, what's one of your favorite things? And I was like, well, this thing I learned from the bariatric community. It's like, this rotisserie chicken and cheese and Greek yogurt. And I serve it over green beans, and I really like it. That's the one thing I feel like I like a lot. And she's like, that sounds great. And she goes, are you eating your protein first? And I was like, yes. And she goes, okay, so in your case, we're not going to do that anymore. She's like, for right now, because we're expanding your palate and because we need you to get enough nutrients in you, that protein is filling you up sooner. So let's get the vegetables in you first, and then we're going to circle back to the protein. But that's the whole thing you said, right? Is she explained it to me. She told me why that made sense for me and my situation. And it did make sense. And I did change it, and it helped a lot, So, and then I started losing weight, and then I had less food aversion, and all those things kind of, balanced out. But I think that's part of this medication. It's something that a lot of people feel is just not interested in food at all. And then almost to the point where it's not even like the not interested. It's almost like you can have that, right? Where you're just kind of like, I could take it or leave it. And then, which is kind of what I feel like on Mounjaro, and then when I was on Wegovy, I feel like it was way more like, I don't want anything, and I think that's why the Mounjaro works better for me, is because I'm able to eat. And it's just the side effect profile thing is a little bit better, but it's a good, when I started with her, the first thing I said was, listen, I was like, I'm trying to come to you with an open mind, but I want to be clear. I don't plan on ever being off these medications, or at least something like it, that whatever they decide in 10 years is the best practice. So like, you talk to me from that place, I'm going to hear you, and she was like, all right. And I was like, okay. So, like, if you can find the ones like you, right, that are willing to have those conversations and willing to like let a patient, I think, advocate for himself, it's a really big deal,
It is a big deal. But I also, and this is probably like my own bias, so I'm willing to admit that. But like, I really struggle with dietitians who are not supportive of this. Like, I struggle with that, because that's like, my job is to help my clients. And if a medication is going to help the client, like, obviously it's not my decision if a client starts taking it, but the judgment, even in the medical community. I was listening to a group of dietitians talking about Ozempic and like Ozempic face. And I'm just like, I'm not going to listen to this because it was just, it was rooted in misinformation, first of all.
Yes,
And
of course.
also, of course, right? Which is really such a shame. But
It
like,
is.
how unfair to people who have an option available to them. Like, it really upsets me, honestly. Like, it really,
I could tell.
Yeah.
That's why I like you. It's why you're here.
but you know, I'm happy to hear that that was your experience, you know, with your,
well, she did work for
your
a telehealth
dietitian or a dietitian or
practice, but still, you know,
but you know,
it was
still,
good.
you never know. So
It's
that is
true.
good.
You do never know. And she did at one point say at one time when you're off the medications, and I was like, whoop,
You're like,
wait a
no,
minute,
time out, time out.
you know, and then as soon as I said it, she respected it and we moved forward. You know what I mean? And that was cool. But I think that what's important, and this I'll tell you what the perception is right now, Megan, it's that people, especially in our community, we think that the dietitians that are like that, like are those in big face, like, I mean, frankly, just ignorant and misinformed people, right? Hopefully not mean people, hopefully more on the misinformed side. Are likely feeling like maybe they are no longer relevant and not needed when it comes to weight loss, when I think we all understand having this discussion, most of us a year in, right? I think all of us a year in, you know, or no, JT's 6 or 7 months, but you know, a year in at this point, and we all understand that like it's a way bigger, like nutrition and having a dietitian, it's like, it's a big, even a bigger need. Like understanding the maintenance piece, understanding the losing weight piece. We really, and if you have grown up, especially if you've dealt with obesity forever and you've grown up in diet culture, then people just said to you, eat 1,000 calories a day, exercise 6 days a week. And if you can't lose weight, it's your fucking fault.
It's your fault.
I mean, they always said that. And and that you are clearly fat and lazy because you can obviously, you obviously are overeating. You're obviously not exercising. And so when people say those things to you, why keep doing them? If your body's not responding anymore and you can never lose more than 30 pounds, why keep going? So having a dietitian, I think, is even more important now than it's ever been before, you know? So I wish they would come around.
I agree.
You know,
I wish they would come around too. I mean, completely. But I also think that, I mean, you might be right? You might be 100% right that they're, you know, people are feeling threatened by the potency, shall we say, of just how effective these medications are, right? The triple G, like the triple G, I mean, but again, it's like, that's kind of what I was saying at the beginning. Like, this is the best time. Like, we are immersed in so much science. Like, this is amazing. But to your point, I think one thing that I have, you know, seen, and I have clients who have friends on the medication who will say this. You can lose weight having bariatric surgery or taking these medications without making significant lifestyle changes and dietary changes up to a certain point, right?
Right. To a certain point. Yep.
But you're not going to be able to maintain that loss continuing those habits. And I'm not saying that to shame anyone. I am not saying that to make anyone feel badly. I just, like I said, like I do this all day long. So the benefit, again, it's like the benefit of having, you know, whatever you want to call it, a meal plan, a coach, a nutritionist, a dietitian, like whoever it is, right? And really, like, I hope you find, you know, not you, anyone listening, I hope you find, you know, people who support you. But in the maintenance phase, maybe even more important.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because how do you cope with this kind of new reality, and how are you doing your long term? I always say it has to be successful and sustainable. If it's just successful and it's not sustainable, like, you're gonna have a tough go of it.
Yes.
So being able to understand that is, like, you know, amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I am like 9 pounds away from my goal.
Amazing.
Quick golf clap. Quick golf clap.
Oh,
Oh no, we just
Oh no, we lost
Kim.
Kim.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh, hopefully she'll come back.
Yeah, pounds away. And so this conversation is so relevant to me, and I know it's relevant to others.
yay,
Oh
Kim's
yay,
back.
she's back.
We got her.
Okay, good.
We were
But
worried.
the question that I had for those that are on a weight loss journey, and for those that are about to go into maintenance, and for those that are in maintenance right now, we hear fiber all the time, how important fiber is. I personally, struggled with constipation when I first started Mounjaro. And Kim and I are advocates of yellow dragon fruit, because it it is a wonder, and it does the work of the Lord. But you know, but we all hear that fiber is important to relieve constipation. So why is it so important for those on GLP-1, medications, and how much fiber should we be taking in per day?
So women need around 25 grams of fiber a day. Men need around 38 grams of fiber a day. Most Americans are getting, a minuscule amount. So fiber is found in fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, and whole grains. Not to go back to protein is queen, but I did post something today. I said protein is queen and fiber is a princess. Okay. So
Okay.
So she's like right beneath protein in the importance level here.
Yeah.
Fiber is filling. Fiber helps absolutely to relieve constipation. It's also wonderful at pulling cholesterol from the blood and for stabilizing your blood sugar. So if you are a type 2 diabetic, you are hitting all the marks here if you're choosing high fiber carbohydrates. Most people are not going to get enough fiber. So focusing when you're eating vegetables, choosing high fiber vegetables. When you're eating fruit, choosing high fiber fruits. There's high fiber bread, high fiber pasta, high fiber crackers. I mean, it's endless in terms of possibilities, but it should not be underestimated how beneficial it is in terms of weight loss, in terms of, again, blood sugar control. It's also filling. There's a reason why fiber is so filling, and it swells in your stomach. So just the way it works, it's stripped out in the processing of, let's say, I don't know, white bread, white rice, whatever it is. You're not going to feel as full eating a lower fiber diet than you will a higher fiber diet. And although we do have early satiety, we do know, our medications are working to help with earlier satiety. You could still eat, you can eat certain foods and kind of get around that. So along with the fiber for constipation is physical activity. I like to say it's like I wish that I could have like a word, but it's just the sounds of the letters. It's fiber, physical activity, and fluid to help with your constipation. Yeah, right, exactly. I'm like,
I know.
I need to hire like a copywriter to like come up with some sort of like, better thing for that, because that's not my thing. But we know that this works, and we know that it, again, if you have constipation, if you're trying to lose weight, if you want to control your blood sugar, if you have the elevated cholesterol, like check. It is just, it's the best. And it's crunchy. Awesome. It's crunchy.
Like, in case you weren't sold.
Right. And one more thing, that's something like I always say, like, no one is, changing her diet and is like, oh, do I miss brothy soup? Like, oh my God, I've been craving just like some, chicken stock. You want to eat something, right? You want to chew something. And you get that sensory input from chewing. You get that, if people who have that nervous energy, right, who tend to go to food, there's a reason why they're choosing crunchy food. It's calming for the nervous system. So it checks all boxes. So fiber, 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 fiber. That's also why and this is an unpopular opinion, I will say. That's why I prefer whole foods to any sort of fiber powder or fiber supplement, because you're not getting that same crunch. You're not getting that chewing
the mental
sensation
piece.
that exactly.
I get
Interesting.
But again, that's my opinion. Ask 10 dietitians, they'll tell you 10 different things.
Tell you different. They'll be like, get it in however you can.
Yeah.
Right. They're like, first of all,
Calories
stop the
versus drinking.
medication.
Yeah.
Then you should take a pill.
Yeah. Right.
Speaking of getting like all your fiber and your protein in, water. How much water do we need to drink per day? Water check.
Yeah, I mean, really,
it's a good prompt.
It is a good prompt, and I love how we all have big.
Yeah, 2 of these a day.
Water bottles here. So the minimum I would say is like that very basic 64 ounces a day. When it's hot, when you're exercising, when you're, doing anything where you just need more hydration, you have to drink. If you're a big coffee drinker, if you're a big soda drinker, and there's or tea, and there's there's caffeine, which is a diuretic, which is going to pull more water, out of your body. And again, it's not like you can't have it. Like I would drink 42 cups of coffee a day if like I could, but that's not going to work for me. But water. It's also going absolutely to help you in terms of weight loss. It's also, if you're eating a high fiber diet, you need more water. People sometimes, I think, again, this goes back to the why. Like, why do I need water? Why do I need fiber? How do they work together? If you're upping your fiber and not upping your water, it's actually going to worsen your constipation. So that's not what we're trying to do, right? If someone doesn't understand the correlation between and the importance between the two of them, she's going to have a harder time. So it's just so important. Sip the whole day. I don't care if it's seltzer. I don't care if it's, Crystal Light. I don't care if it's Propel Zero, like whatever it is that's going to keep you hydrated and that makes it easier for you to drink.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I can
do you
hear
need to
some
drink
people
more
like,
water?
oh my God, Crystal Light. Ah! You know how some people are like so judgy about that.
Oh my God, yes. Do you need to drink more when it's hot? Like, do you need to
you absolutely
like even
need
more
to drink more when it's hot. Yes, because you're sweating.
Because legitimately, we're all frying here, and it's like, like we cooking.
I know. I mean, where I am right now is like surprisingly not hot, but
really
everywhere else
in Alaska,
country, I know. No.
Seriously, someone told me the other day it's 70 degrees there. I was like, nice.
No, I'm in Maine. We spend the summers in Maine, and it's
nice.
And it can be warm, but it happens to be a cooler day today. Nice. But yes, when you're exercising, especially if you're exercising in the heat, like that together, you for sure need more water. And dehydration is serious. Dehydration is something that I don't think a lot of people talk enough about. Not a scare tactic. None of this should be like to scare people into drinking water. It's like to educate yourself and to know the importance. You have to drink on these medications. I also feel that people adjust to feeling a certain way, right? You just kind of get used to like feeling how you feel, and like that just is what it is. When you start to drink more water, when you start to make some of these different food choices that we're talking about, you can start to feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't have to wake up achy. I didn't have to wake up with a headache. I didn't have to wake up with dry mouth. I didn't have to like do this, that, and the other thing. You get to live this life where you're so much more comfortable in your body. Totally. I mean, and honestly, even forget the weight loss, right? Forget that. Just just your quality of life can improve with really good nutrition.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I've never really I've always been on like the diet roller coaster thing. Like it's always been like Weight
Mhm.
Watchers was a big dramatic thing for me. And anybody that's seen
Mhm.
my TikToks knows why.
Mhm.
But you
I
know,
lost a
that
lot when I first
I
did Weight
don't think
Watchers, but that
even
was like
that's
20, literally
nutrition.
20 years ago. But yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it
You
was
know,
all
I
about
just
fiber. Yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's
it's still
like
diet
and
culture. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's still I think they're trying to change. I'm gonna stay open. I'm not it's not easy, but I'm trying to stay open. Maybe it's a new day. Y'all know I'm trying. I'm praying about it. But I think that it's moving in a different direction. It might just be PR. We'll find out. But
Thoughts
yeah,
and prayers for Weight Watchers. Thoughts and prayers
right.
for Weight Watchers.
Sorry, Kat. I didn't mean to jump in. I just
No,
was
I
like,
was
hey,
just
I'm
saying that
hot.
like
Can
the
we
year
try
and
to do
it's like the yo-yo because obviously like I'm sure everybody in this community has gone up and down and up and down and up and down
Mhm.
because all I've
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So speaking of going like I say up and down, people on GLP-1s, they swear by a certain diet, but
Yeah.
um, what do you think is the best? I mean, I feel like I like to do what I do. But anyway, but like say keto, it's just me, keto or high protein or Mediterranean, what would be the best? Or is it just kind of like you figure out your own little groove?
I do think you should always like eat what feels good to you.
Mhm.
If I love salmon, like I made salmon for my daughter for dinner tonight. Like the day
Mhm.
my son eats salmon, I'm gonna like play the lottery or something because like it's gonna be like it's gonna be a day. Um, but if someone doesn't like salmon and I'm telling her eat salmon, eat salmon, eat salmon, eat salmon, like that's not helpful to her. So you
Yeah.
should always eat in a manner that makes you feel good. With that being said, there is no better data on long-term lifestyle and health
Mhm.
related eating patterns as there is with the Mediterranean diet because it is
Interesting.
inclusive of
Mhm.
and that's really what I teach my clients. I don't call, I mean, it is what it is,
Yeah.
it is the Mediterranean diet, but I don't
Yeah.
say per se like follow the Mediterranean diet
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
you're on the medication, follow the Mediterranean diet when you're recovering from surgery. But
Yeah.
the Mediterranean diet does have it is higher protein.
Mhm.
The carbs are typically whole grain, lots of
Yeah.
fruits and vegetables. But what I love most about the Mediterranean diet and what I teach my clients is the fat is literally
Mm.
what will set you free. Because if
Ooh.
you are eating low fat, low carb, low sugar, low calorie,
Yep.
low, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're gonna be you're not gonna be
Hungry.
happy.
Low.
Hungry,
Yeah.
sad,
Yeah. Sickly.
miserable,
Yeah.
irritable.
Yeah.
Like, let's just like keep going, right?
Yeah.
It's not gonna work for you.
Yeah.
Eating fat is so liberating to so many
Mhm.
people. Like, who doesn't want to put olive oil
Oh my gosh.
on
I've
their
learned to love
food?
Mm.
olive oil so much. Oh my
On
gosh. Yeah, I
everything.
eat so much olive oil now.
Mhm.
Whew.
Completely. And you're going to utilize the nutrition from vegetables specifically so much better when there is fat. So I have a program where I deliver like a master class every month, and we were today's master class. I was talking about um, like the bariatric plate method, but like anyone can use this plate method.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, you have a head, you can use it. Like anyone can use it.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, let's just say broccoli, for example. Like, who wants to eat steamed broccoli when you can eat roasted broccoli with some fat on it? Like, you're going
Mhm.
to utilize and metabolize those nutrients
Mhm.
so much better,
Yep.
but also it's going to taste better. And I feel like the
Yeah.
fat component of the Mediterranean diet allows you to feel like you are not depriving yourself. Like,
Yeah.
there is
That's a
nothing
big
worse
thing.
in my mind than being on a low carb, low calorie, low sugar,
Low sugar.
low fat
Mhm.
diet. Like
Yeah. Misery. It's
that
like 1990s.
misery.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
It's like,
Like the
Yeah.
let's get
Snack
the
90s for
wells.
snack
me.
wells. Let's get the
Snack
snack
wells.
wells out.
Bleh.
Let's track them
Yeah.
on our like paper Weight Watchers tracker
Mhm.
and like let's see how we
Yes.
do. Like that's remember, like that's
Yeah,
no
Yes.
I
fun.
do.
And so
No.
the addition of fat, also fat helps with satiety, meaning
Yeah.
your fullness. Now we do
Mhm.
have to be careful because on
Right.
GLP-1 medications, there is delayed gastric emptying. That's going to
Mhm.
continue to delay the gastric emptying, but we're not talking about eating like 49 avocados at lunch. Like we're talking about
No.
a portion that's going to taste
Yeah.
delicious, help you to
Mhm.
metabolize the nutrition,
Yeah.
and help you to lose weight.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah, totally.
team Mediterranean diet in a big way.
Interesting. I haven't even tried the Mediterranean. I
Use
am the big
olive
fan of
oil.
pretty much everything on it. But that I know Kat just went to France and she said she ate
Went
Mediterranean
to
diet when
Nice.
she
I
was
went to
there.
I went to the Mediterranean. I
Oh,
went to the
she went
Nice, France. Yeah, I was not in
France.
Oh
mainland
my
Italy.
France.
God. Amazing.
My
Amazing.
most favorite salad I had there was called the Marrakesh, and it was just chickpeas, quinoa, cucumbers, onions, tomatoes. Like it was just so much, and like this olive oil rich dressing. It was just I almost ate
Yum.
Yeah.
like the seasoning was so good on it. That's what it was just, and you got all your
Oh, the
protein.
seasoning. Yeah.
There was no
Yeah.
meat on it, but oh my gosh. And olive oil for breakfast,
Yum.
lunch, and dinner. Like you had olive oil at every
Yeah.
plate, every
Everything.
time you sat down.
Everything.
Yum.
Life is too short
Not
for bad olive oil. Like you got to get the good
Is
stuff.
there
Yeah.
bad olive oil? I guess there
Y-
probably is. Like there's
oh
bad
I
wine,
always
right?
oh
I get mine from
there's that
California. I
everywhere.
get mine from Shea because I'm not paid for it. I'm just saying Shea because olive oil in Modesto, California is the bomb. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Modesto. All I can think about is Scott Peterson when I think about Modesto. I don't
Oh
think I'll
Lord.
ever not think of it.
I just
I
took
don't
it
think I'll
south. I'm
ever
sorry,
not.
guys.
Well, no, I think I took it south, Cat. I think you took it west. It happens.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can I
I
just
interrupted
say
your
one
question.
thing?
Keep going.
Can I just say
Yeah.
one thing about olive oil?
Yeah.
So cottage cheese, I don't know like where you guys are on the cottage cheese spectrum.
I'm
I like
saying
Maybe
it.
we
I'm
have
pro.
some
I'm pro cottage cheese.
lovers, maybe we have
I
some
love it.
haters. Um, but I sometimes will make like a toast. So I'll use a high fiber bread and I'll toast it like in a skillet because literally if you put a little olive oil on the bread and then toast it, like there's not literally
For
there's nothing
sure.
better.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
I'll put cottage cheese on it. Low fat cottage cheese. Okay.
Ooh.
We're not having like 0% cottage cheese. You can use the 2%.
Yeah.
You could even like have the 4% if like that's how
Yeah.
you like
Roll.
play. And then some veggies, like some like beautiful tomatoes or whatever
Ooh.
you like. You could do
That
a
does
little
sound good.
drizzle of olive oil even on top. I did a little balsamic glaze too.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like
I'm
it's
coming
so
over,
good.
Megan. Hell, I'm on the way. That sounds delicious.
Get on a plane, come to Maine.
You're in Maine. I'm on my
I'll
way.
That's on my bucket list. I want to go to Portland.
Oh my God, it is the best. It is literally the best. And we live in New York City normally, so this is like, for my kids, like it's like just the best. It's the best.
That's awesome.
But that's a perfect example of like trying a new flavor and saying like, I've never tried olive oil on cottage cheese.
Oh no, in France, yeah, I got used to it. Like you just put it on your toast, and of course, I did
Everything.
partake in the cheese
Totally
as
eat
well.
that. I would have to
Yeah.
do like my multigrain gluten-free bread because I got issues with
Mhm.
gluten. But
Yes, but that's
like
okay.
I'm
Try
like
the
thinking of
skillet
it in my head.
toasting.
Yeah, that's how I usually do it. Because the gluten-free bread kind of falls apart and stuff. So,
Oh, right.
yeah,
That
like
would
you have
work
to
better
it's
anyway.
special. But like honestly, anytime I cook gluten-free in general, I almost always add more oil. So I'm like,
Mhm.
you kind of have to get the like right consistency and stuff. But
Yes.
I'm like thinking about that and I'm like, I am planning that this week. That sounds delicious
Mhm.
because I'm trying to
It's
find new
so good.
things. Like I have a
Mhm.
totally new palate. I
Yes.
don't like that it's easy for me not to eat the things that I used to eat that were kind of equate to bad habits because I don't
Mhm.
want them anymore. I'm not even interested. And because my body's working right. And those things were just that was just a symptom of what was wrong with me. That's how I look at it.
Mhm.
And now I work
Mhm.
right. So I'm choosing different things and I want to. It's not hard. But what I'm finding is that it's even hard to want to do anything at all, right? Because I don't know what's possible. So I'm trying to like palate test. You know what I mean? Because it's
Mhm.
just totally different. Like I really could just go to
It's
town on
totally
like a bunch
different.
of stirred fried vegetables. Like that's what tastes good to me now,
So
Get you
so
some
for
intense garlic olive oil from Shea Bekas. I mean, I'm not even listen, I'm just telling you.
Intense garlic?
Love
Oh,
it.
my husband would be
Anyway,
so thrilled.
I'm so hooked on the olive oils. But anyway, go ahead.
I was
Hooked.
I was on a kick of I've been eating it a little bit this summer, but last summer I ate it all the time. You know, the cherry tomatoes, like the little
Uh-huh.
ones that are like so sweet. I would slice them in half.
Yes,
I would
yes.
I
Those are good.
would press like with the garlic press. I mean, a shameful amount of garlic.
You you
Olive
you
oil.
season garlic with your heart, you know?
I mean, my husband was like, "You're a vampire. You need to
Your heart.
we need to be like in separate rooms." But garlic, fresh garlic, olive oil, salt, pepper, cherry tomatoes,
Yeah.
so good. Actually, put
Yeah.
that on your cottage cheese, like
Oh, that sounds good too.
on your
That
cottage
sounds
cheese
incredible.
That's like
toast.
caprese
A little
salad kind of,
onion.
you know?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Little
It's like,
onion.
I mean, I love burrata, but the cottage cheese is really like a better, you know, kind of
Yeah.
high
Yeah,
protein
burrata is good, yeah.
option. And
Yeah.
it's so good with maybe if you have a
Oh,
little fresh basil or dried basil or whatever you
yeah.
have, like that is an easy option for a toast.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, that's a meal. That's a delicious, nutritious meal. Like that's, you
Let's
know,
talk about
So
not
olive
even like,
good.
oil.
let me just have some toast. That's like, let me nourish my body and have some toast while
Yes.
I'm at it. You know what I mean?
And have
That's good.
and again, it's the crunch, right? You're
Yeah. That
satisfied in
crunch.
a different way when you're actually chewing your food than
Yeah.
when you're not.
Yeah,
That
totally.
sounds like an easy segue. We're talking about like how, you know, like hormonal fluctuations with your appetite and what kind
Mhm.
of things you can nosh on with your hormones. But it sounds like we're kind of touching on that. But um, what are some of the things that we can nosh on? Like, say, if you're having, like, say, I'll call them hormonal, but like sometimes just cravings. Like sometimes the
Mhm.
nutritionist will say, hey, if you're craving chocolate, you should eat this or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So, what's your feedback
So
on that?
I really do encourage people to have what they want, right? Like if you're
Mhm.
craving chocolate, I don't love when people are like, if you're craving chocolate, have celery. Or like
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you're
no.
Yeah.
craving ice cream, chew on ice cubes. It's like
There's a special place in
that,
hell for people that say that.
but like, but it's
Chew on ice
but
cubes.
but like literally, like those are the suggestions that I'm like, you have clearly never ever dealt with any of this personally, right? If
Yeah,
you are
clearly.
reasonably suggesting that someone who like loves Cheetos at midnight should like eat baby carrots, because it's like, no,
Yes.
that's not the
Thank you,
same.
Megan. Thank you for being realistic,
So,
for God's sakes.
That sounds like
but
it's
it's
kind
like
of a stomach ache either way. Yeah.
Yeah.
when people say things like that, I'm just like, I can't, I can't with that.
You
So
say I can't.
I mean,
I
truly,
love it.
it's like I'm a lover of chocolate. Like I can't tell someone to just like eat edamame or something.
Yeah,
It's like
no.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So if you're really craving something, I think you have. I think this is a little bit of, you know, I love to talk, so I'm sorry if this is going to be a
No,
long-winded
it's okay.
answer, but
No, this is an episode about food and maintenance. This is all relevant. So
okay,
keep going.
okay, good.
Yeah.
So I think you have to kind of know yourself. If you are
Mhm.
saying like, I'm making this up. I'm craving Oreos. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Same. Like who's not craving Oreos? And
So great saying.
so like if you're someone who's gonna have one Oreo and then eat 21 Oreos, then like
Yeah.
knowing that about yourself and making a decision based upon that is gonna serve you so much better, right?
Yeah, sure.
Now,
Yeah.
could you find, like, let's just go with the Oreo idea. Like, could
Mhm.
you find, for example, Yazo bars? Do you guys know Yazo bars? They're like the
Yes.
Greek
Yes.
yogurt bars.
Yeah.
They have a ton of flavors.
Love
So
those.
maybe, like, I could suggest to a client who's like eyeing the sleeve of Oreos, maybe she could
Mhm.
try an Oreo Yazo bar. Like, it's not the Oreos, right? But it's in the
Yeah.
same family of.
True.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
I
sometimes
like
what
that.
happens, And, you know, I'm sure we've all been there. It's like, what I really want is like my kryptonite is hint of lime Tostitos. Okay.
Oh,
So,
those are good.
I
Nice.
Num
mean,
nums.
those are so good, right? I'm
They
like,
are so good.
I'm not that dietitian who's like, I don't eat that. It's like, you have to, like, you're like, there's going to be, right. But there are dietitians who are like, it's not organic.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care. Like, it's like, but really, like, that's how so many people are. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so back now, I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, the hint of lime Tostitos. It's
Yeah.
like, you have to understand your behavior. So if you want hint of lime Tostitos, and instead of eating that because you want to be good, right? You don't want to be
Yeah.
bad and have the hint of
Yeah.
lime Tostitos. You have, you know, 12 cashews, and then you have 4 string cheeses, and then you have, you know, a hot chocolate, and then you
Yeah.
have a sugar-free popsicle, and then
Yeah.
you have, you know, it's like by the time
You could just have that
you've
slice.
eaten,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
have what you want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
totally.
but again, you have to know yourself, right? And it's like, again,
Yeah,
we're
I
not
agree.
talking about eating maybe some of these things like all day, every day.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
there is something to like having a craving,
Yeah.
eating it, and then moving on.
Yeah.
That
Totally.
is a skill that we have many people who have, you know, struggled with this for their entire life. You know, that's a habit that has to be honed and developed, because most
Yeah.
of us, you know, most of us don't do that, right? Just
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
So even on the medication, right?
For sure.
Even when you've had all this success,
Yeah.
you're human, right? It's
Totally.
like,
Yeah.
you're not a robot, and that's
The amount
okay.
of time that Oreos come up on the show is
It's
unbelievable.
amazing. I had to
I
make
mean,
a
like,
cream
I
cake
kind
for
of feel like
next
that
week.
might be everybody's kryptonite in a way. Like the
Because
Oreo thing,
they're the best thing
because they're
on
the best.
planet.
Dr. Toomer
And
used to say how she would like manage her like whole
Oreo
blood
attention.
sugar because she's type 2 would like, and she would like get the little 2-pack Oreos, and like that would like she would like manage her blood sugar around to be able to have her little 2 Oreos.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
You know, the struggle is real.
But when you do get the Oreo, or
Yeah.
like in my case, the, you know, peanut M&Ms, but I like go to the store, like it like takes me
Just
about a
eat 'em.
week to get it. But
Yeah.
then when I finally decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to get it while I'm at the store, I'm just going to pick it up. But then when I eat it, it's like, oh, this is too sweet.
Yeah, everything's too sweet
Like,
now.
really?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I would
That's a
do
mental
all of
thing.
that.
You think you want that. That's like
Yeah.
that. That's that memory of what that would feel like. Then that's gone now.
I went
Yeah.
through all of that. And
It's
then
intense.
and then now I can even pass the Biscoff cookie butter,
Ooh,
and
that's hard.
I don't even get excited. That's a big deal.
Oh my gosh. We
Because
could have a whole segment about cookies
look,
alone. I'm telling
because
you.
I can eat that out the jar.
But
I'm so
isn't
embarrassed.
but what embarrassed? You're totally
Normal.
normal. Everyone eats it out of the
Totally
jar.
normal. Yeah.
How many spoons is the question? Like, are we like
Yeah.
sharing the jar? Like,
Right.
Is it the whole
Once you
jar?
start,
Like
you can't stop. It's like,
but that's also something, you know, like you all were talking earlier about the food noise, right? That's exactly what this is. And I remember I was, you know, and a lot of people have said this, so, you know, it's all over, but it's like, is this what it's like not
to be normal?
To think about food
Not
all
to
the time, like
obsess.
not to obsess, not to have that, just that constant, like, what am I gonna eat? When am I gonna have it? Oh, I kind of want this. That didn't satisfy me. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have that.
Yeah.
And it's like just that go hyperfixation.
Yes.
It's eye-opening to think some people don't experience that, right?
Yeah. There's so many people that don't. It's crazy. Like, I think, I mean, I think we all agree. Like, if you were to ask everyone in our community, I think every single person, the one thing they would say is the best side effect or benefit of these medications, right? That isn't like on the label is the food noise thing. Like having anything where the fact that we don't, like, just what Kim was saying, right? When she was talking about how her medication was wearing off, she's in the middle of maintenance, forgot her shot, and then she ate a bunch of things and didn't even quite really realize it. She was just really, really hungry, you know?
Right.
But that constant noise, that it is amazing how loud that is. It blows my mind. And when it turned off, I thought I was having a stroke. Like it blows my mind. But you're right. There are so many people, because I know I've had conversations with people before, like, don't you have cravings? Don't you this? I'm like, you know, when I do, I eat the thing. You know what I mean? And it's just because their body works like it's supposed to, you know?
Right.
And now that mine does, I don't do any of that anymore. I don't even have to try. Like, I'm like how they are, you know? It's crazy. It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Apparently, we started a whole podcast about it because it's amazing. You know,
That's how good it is.
A little bit of that, a little bit of nutrition, a little bit of movement and exercise. You know, it's a good salad. You know.
But I'm glad
I
we're
remember. Yeah, go ahead.
talking about maintenance, because I never thought I would be even considering maintenance, just crossing 6 months. I never thought in my wildest dreams. And I remember, you know, getting on TikTok, and I remember Kim being one of the first creators that I saw. And I was just like, okay. And then Kim Carlos being that, you know, and I was just following everybody. And now it's another phase of the journey that it's mental, because now, and Kim, and I'm not sure if you dealt with this, and, you know, Megan, with the food, we have been so used to saying, well, deficits, cut it out.
Calorie deficits.
And now it's where many still have that mindset, because it's nothing wrong with them, but that's what you're used to. And now we're learning, if you don't eat with these medications, even on I'm like trying to lose, the medications won't work. Or like in maintenance, well, what do you do when you don't really want to lose anymore? But we're finding that people are still losing. Like Kim is still losing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like, what do you do? And I talked to Kim earlier. I'm like, and I touched with it on Kat a little bit too. It's just so mental. And Kim, I'm not sure what, like, you can speak on that, of like, maintenance is more mental to me now, because I'm 9 pounds away. And every week, the closer I get to my goal, I'm happy. But a little part of me is like,
weird.
What's going to happen next?
Right.
Yeah. What does next look like?
Right. Like,
that's when you need your community behind you. That's when you need your community behind you.
And what do I eat? And like, I know I shouldn't be at a deficit, but what do you do in maintenance now, since you're not really at a caloric deficit? Or are you at a caloric deficit still?
I'm honestly, no. But my cheat meal, not cheat day, is Sundays. So I'm still able to eat without overeating, meaning, I'm not going to lie, my husband's, he's country, okay? Meaning he likes his rice, his gravy.
I got one of those too. I got one.
Right. He doesn't have the weight issues. So that was part of the bargain. You know, babe, don't give up on soul food Sundays. So I would still cook, but I'm still mindful. Okay, well, if I eat these sweet potatoes, then for myself, I'll eat this baked chicken instead of fried chicken, sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
So I'm still mindful, and I'm grateful. I've never gained over my goal weight, which is 165, but I'm way under. The lowest I think I've ever gotten was 154. And that's when my children had an intervention with me 2 weeks ago. So, when I see that I am getting too low, then I will eat, but it won't be anything like, y'all know my favorite thing is lemon pepper wings off wax.
Yeah, me too. I just had some. Guilty.
Just found the most incredible recipe for them too. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm so ready to try them this weekend.
So we live in
I
Atlanta, so lemon pepper wings
You
are
know, it's like, oh no, I don't know
Yeah,
what
right.
those.
so I
You don't know what a lemon
definitely
pepper wing is? Megan, do you see
Heaven.
what
I
a lemon pepper
didn't
wing
know
is?
if that was like a. I mean, I can imagine, but I didn't. I
You know, it's
didn't.
like buffalo wings, but instead of buffalo, it's like a dry rub lemon pepper and like
I'm
Yeah.
sure
lemon.
I would love it.
It's
I'm sure I
good.
would love
look.
it.
It's
Yeah,
delicious. Yeah.
it is good.
it,
But
I
I mean,
that's my
It's your thing.
indulgence for
Mm.
That's
me.
your indulgence, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but I don't. It's like 10 piece from Wingstop.
Yeah.
But it's like I do watch myself more so on the weekend of
Mhm.
what I'm eating.
Right.
So that goes back to what Megan says. I'm being conscious of what I'm eating because I don't want to develop the habit of, okay, I'm taking this medication and I can eat what I want and I'm not
Yeah,
going to
for
gain the
sure.
weight back. I don't
Yeah.
want to go back into old habits, but I
Sure.
do have that cheat meal because a lot of people like
Mhm.
a cheat day. I have a cheat meal where
Yeah.
I don't feel guilty, which is my Sunday meals. And that
Mhm.
worked for me to
Yeah.
maintain. Yes.
Yeah. I hate
And
that we
also
even
that.
have to
Oh,
think
sorry.
about it that way, though. Oh, sorry, Megan. I was thinking, I
No,
hate
no.
that we even have to call it a cheat meal because it's so diet culture, Kim. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Cheat day.
like I think the exact same way. And
Yeah.
and like when I had my wings today, but let me just tell you something. When I eat on my medicine, when I feed my body, I lose my weight. When I don't eat,
Yes.
I don't lose weight. I have to eat to
I
lose weight. And
know.
my
What
body
is
likes
that?
wings and it eats it like once every couple of
There you
weeks.
go.
And
My
it likes
body
it.
likes
My
lemon
body's
pepper
like,
wings.
hell yeah, giving us the food. We're going to drop some weight today. They like, that Mounjaro like it, So, but I hate that
What's
we
up
have to
with
think about
that
it that way.
though?
I don't know. You just need the food to make it work, like your
I
body needs food.
know.
I do think though,
Olive
like
oil.
I do think that comes back to the medication being glucose dependent. So
Mm.
because people are always like, I'm worried about, like low sugar on the medication.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, certainly, like, again, like you should
Yeah.
always work with your doctor. You should always, like
course.
talk to your
Yeah.
providers and feel
Yeah.
really good about that. But
Mhm.
the medication is glucose dependent. So to your point,
Okay.
it is, we only have, I mean, you have sugar in your body, but
Yeah.
when you're eating,
Yep.
the medication is going to work. I mean,
Yes.
so like we might think like, oh no, it's better if we don't eat. No,
Yeah.
the
No, it's not.
opposite is true.
Yeah.
And also when you're, no one hopefully is going to lose all of the weight that she desires on the medication eating barely anything, because what is going to happen, even if you're on a maintenance dose, even if you're doing all the things that we know are for most people, this is a lifelong medication.
Yeah.
That's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to sustain not eating.
Yeah.
So
So true.
It's
Yeah.
Right.
I was with my girlfriends at lunch the other day, and my friend Falana, probably shouldn't have said her name on the thing. My friend Falana, is type 2. Hey, P-Dub. Kat's friend too. And she's type 2, and so one of our friends was eating something, and they were kind of talking in that sort of way that Kim just did. And like, I think the same thing, Kim. And it was sort of like, this isn't nutritious with all the queso. And I was like, on her plate right now is a bunch of vegetables and cheese protein. It's okay. Like, and she didn't even eat a big lunch. Like, just because you have a chronic disease does not mean you don't get to enjoy your life,
Exactly.
oh my
and
god,
like, and I think, and Falana, like, she's watching, but Falana was like, hell yeah, because Falana's been type 2 for a really long time,
Yeah.
and she just started Ozempic, so I'm airing her business. Well, I don't know. There's probably,
Tell
I don't know.
all her
There's a lot of
business.
Falanas. I feel
I
bad.
know.
Oh
You
no.
just put it all out there.
Well, because I feel like I'm talking with my girlfriends. Like, it's like, I forget we was recording it. I'm gonna cut that out. All right, I might do that. That feels bad. I'll check with her first.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I think that's important. Just because you're sick does not mean you do not get to have a rich, full life. Everybody else is able to have moments and have meals and have special Sundays where they get to have that and be with their family and friends. And there can be love and feeling around food. It's just a matter of when I think it takes over, right? Which is what it was like for me majority of my life. But now
Agreed.
I feel like I'm in charge. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
before I don't think I was, and now I feel like I am. So I think that's kind of what's great about it. So Kim, it's not a cheat day. You get it. You deserve it. It's awesome.
you.
You're welcome.
Look,
But also like how wonderful that you're
Yeah.
you're keeping your family traditions. Like
Yes.
this is something that your
Mhm.
family likes, right? People are always
awesome.
worried like, well, if mom does this or if I do this or what's my husband going to say? And what it's
Yeah.
like, you can I just had this conversation with someone today. It's like you can't accommodate everyone to your own detriment. Like
Yeah.
that's not okay. And
Mhm.
finding that balance is again like not to harp on the same thing, but like that's
Yeah.
how you're gonna do this long term is to
Yeah.
go and have your lemon pepper wings.
Yeah.
10, 12,
Totally.
whatever they are, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
that's
Absolutely.
important
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
living your life.
Totally. Yeah.
And if you can't do that, then something has to shift, right? Something
Yeah.
has to change a
Yeah.
little bit
Right.
because that's not fair to
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
right?
No, it's
You
not. Yeah.
can't, if you're skinnier and you are
Yeah.
sadder because
Like
you're like
why?
literally
Yeah.
like not living, like
Right.
who cares,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Gotta
Right.
live
Yeah.
your life.
Totally. Well, I think we got through like the majority of our questions. What a lovely
Yeah.
conversation this was.
I think we also just kind of
Right?
we handled. Yeah, there was so
We
many
totally were just hanging with our girls. Like it's good. I love it.
talking about lemon pepper wing recipes and all of
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
Talking
right.
about
And
cottage
olive oil
cheese,
and
talking about olive oil,
Oh,
talking about
cottage
lemon
cheese
pepper
toast.
wings.
listen,
Mhm.
Oh my
food
I
is
gosh.
a
mean,
big
Look,
deal,
Rachel's
all
especially
of
on
that.
cottage cheese
maintenance.
toast.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
only
Well,
the
it's
good
been
things.
so awesome. Such a good conversation. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Megan, for coming and being here with us and helping us
Thank you for
learn more
having
about
me.
nutrition on maintenance and even, during the process, right?
Mhm.
And Kim,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming and being vulnerable and sharing your story.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
important.
for having
And I'll
me.
make sure to put your TikTok links and your any other socials that you have in the story notes.
Mhm.
Same for you, Megan, if you could get me that
Thank
so that
you.
people can follow you. Is there anywhere in particular that we can follow? You can just tell verbally and then I'll put it in the notes.
So
Or
I
like
am
Insta.
I am on Instagram at
Okay.
women's.bariatric.nutrition.
Let me
Dot
It's
lover.
.lover because like we can't, it has to be. I know it is a mouthful.
Yeah.
And I'm on TikTok at women's dot WLS dot
We need to update that.
nutrition. But my name is Megan Wolf. You could also search
I
me
think we
up
should
that way.
be GLP-1 lover. That needs to be
Lover.
that's it right
I know.
there.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Like
truly,
LOVA.
like that's a hashtag, that's a shirt,
It
that's a
is. It's a
hat, that's
thing.
all the
I'll
things.
give you a link to where you can get a
total
merch
thing.
store with
That's a
lover
water
on it.
bottle.
It is a water bottle. It is. It is.
I can
It
get
totally
it right
is.
on here. I can get it right on here.
Just one like Kim's. I love Kim's Mounjaro water bottle. I dig it.
I love it.
7.5.
Yeah,
Yes,
7.5.
girl.
Pick your maintenance
Yes,
dose,
that's
right?
good.
7.5.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Well, thanks so much. I'll be sure to do that. And I appreciate you guys joining us so much.
Thank you so
And
much. This was
have a
so
lovely
fun.
night. This will air in a week, and I'll be sure to send you the link.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, what a good conversation that was.
So fun.
Right?
Yay.
Yeah.
I know. I feel
Great
like I've
times.
learned a lot too. I think it'll
I'm
be
ready
good
to
for
have some
people
cottage
too who are
cheese
maybe
toast.
sort of like people who are like not wanting to talk to a dietitian, kind of like the same way that I was before I started
Yeah.
to.
Dietitian aversion.
But like Megan's like super approachable, and she, even though like she's, I don't know, she just seems to get it, and I think having, if you can have a dietitian like that, that's the kind you
Mhm.
want. You want one that is gonna understand that allergies are killing me, y'all. So I think that was a really good conversation. It was really nice of Kim to come on too, and share her story. I hope other people are able to kind of learn it and understand too. Like we need to understand that just because someone is maintaining or is in that phase, it
Mhm.
does not mean that they are done. It's just,
No.
I wish it did. I wish it legitimately, I
No.
wish that was the magic about it, right? Is that you get on it and there's this like magic dose and you don't lose and you don't gain and you don't want any more food and you don't lose your medicine and can't get your medicine, can't afford your, I wish that was a thing, but it's not. So we have got to propose a community like, hear us now. You have to support everybody, no matter what body size they're in when they're in your community, because nobody will understand you at the level that they can. So we have to look out for each other because frankly, there's just anybody else looking out for us. There's just, you know, so anyway.
And we have to prepare people for maintenance. Like
we do. We have to prepare.
Really
what does it look like?
Prepare people for them because I wasn't prepared and I'm still not prepared. I'm like,
yeah. And like, what will that mean to you? Like, will you feel less connected to your community if you're not thinking about like the push every day, right? The way every day, you know, the calories every day. Like if you're not in that mode, like, will you still feel connected to your community? And the answer is if we don't like make you, like we aren't support and embrace you, then maybe not, you know? So I think it's important because it will ebb and flow as this does, you know?
So, perfect words. Perfect words. Ebb and flow.
Ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. All right. Well, we're about to wrap up. I'm going to stick with NSVs because I love them so much, as opposed to quotes. And of course, my usual sign off.
Cool.
So NSV today, put on a size 16 pair of jeans, tummy control, zipped them up. I opened those bitches and I went, there's no way I can fit in those. There's no way. And I zipped them up and I put them on. I got vulnerable. I put them on TikTok shop and I was like, I'm going to try it. It's fun. It was so much fun. It was like playing dress up with your friends. Like when you're a little kid.
What's the playing dress up?
It was. It's like playing dress up with your friends. Yes. It was so fun. And like, I'm sure I'll get all different kinds of feedback because they push it to your For You page when you do a TikTok shop thing. And, but I'm like, I'm just going to do it. So I felt, okay, here I am in a size 16 where I didn't ever think I'd be. Right. And here I am in this body because I think it's really important to celebrate the body that you're in and the stage in life and you're in, because I have no idea what will happen tomorrow. We're not guaranteed this medication forever. We're not guaranteed that we won't get it. We're not guaranteed and not guaranteed tomorrow, period. You know? So I'm trying to celebrate the body that I'm in. And I just felt really, it was an NSV to me to put on those pants and to show them on the internet. Like that was just a big deal for me. Never did I ever think that would happen. So that's mine. What's yours, Kat? You have an NSV or a quote, whatever you want.
Well, you know, you guys got me on that Prince kick. So I had another one
Prince
too.
kick. I like it.
Okay,
what's that one? Prince kick.
This is from the song "The Love We Make." You may think it's like that, but it's not. It's not.
Okay, it's not.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So it might get a little deep, but I love this song. That's very true. All right. So the lyrics I selected. Okay. Sacred is the prayer that asks for nothing, while seeking to give thanks for every breath we take. Blessed are we inside this prayer, for in the new world we will be there. The only love there is the love we make.
Oh, I love that. Kat, that was special. I love it. Hearts for Kat. That was sweet.
I love that
Prince.
song.
Look,
Prince.
that
always.
man.
I love that. The only love there is the love we make.
The man.
Yeah.
That man. And
y'all got Prince issues. Who doesn't?
okay.
Look,
whatever. There are worse issues to have. No, you do.
but see, it wasn't dirty. It's about
It
anyway.
wasn't. Yeah.
See, I know where your thoughts were going. So.
No.
Of course. There are those people who are thinking it. Yes, for sure. I wasn't one of them for not at all. Never.
Look, not me. Nope.
What about you, JT? What's your sign off tonight?
My NSV. I'm gonna do the NSV. Yeah, because this blazer is an NSV. Thank you. Now,
my underneath is kind of hot too.
Yeah, girl. I was going. Listen, I didn't say nothing, Kat. I was wanting to talk about how hot she was looking in the beginning, but I felt I embarrassed her. Now you open the door, Kat. You open the door. Jean, you look like fire.
Well,
it's so great. I love it.
Thank you. This is an NSV. This blazer, I love blazers. I absolutely love blazers and cardigans and jackets and all that. And I can actually button this without sucking in.
Oh, that's great.
And my, I mean, this is a big deal. And
it is a big deal.
And I just said, oh my gosh, I had it dry cleaned a few years ago, and I just couldn't wear it. And now it's comfortable.
Like, legitimately, you look like a CEO. You look fabulous. So work it. It's awesome.
No, but this is my sign off. It's a pale pink linen blazer, And
So
I
cute.
absolutely am still amazed that I can fit it.
Yeah.
I am still amazed by this medication by Mounjaro. I mean,
It's
it
amazing.
truly amazes me.
It truly amazes me too. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. It's like, how do you not, and I think that people don't understand. Dave the other day. So Dave is man on the Manjaro. He's on episode 12. He was on my live the other night and he goes, we're kind of like evangelist. And I was like, oh hell, we totally are like evangelist.
Yeah.
Like,
We're like spreading
Manjaro evangelist, spreading the
Look,
gospel.
we're spreading the Mounjaro gospel.
Oh my gosh.
True. But it's true though, like you
I
tried
have
this and
exercised the demon.
this house is clear. All right. All right. I feel bad. We've like talked for a super long time, but it was such a good conversation. I think people will like it. It'll be fine. Gives me lots of shorts. I'll cut out the thing about my friend because I feel bad about that one. And then it'll be fine.
Yes.
It's all good. All right. So here we are. We're signing off. We will see you next week. Hasta la pasta.
Hasta la pasta.